Do you ever feel like life is rushing by while your mind is stuck replaying old memories or worrying about what's next? What if the peace you're searching for is already here, waiting for you in the present moment? Today I'll share a Buddha-inspired tale about a disciple's journey to uncover the power of presence under the guidance of a wise master. By the end, you'll learn timeless lessons and practical steps to help you embrace the here and now. Stay with me. This story may change how you see life forever. A long time ago, in a serene monastery nestled deep in the mountains, a young disciple named Ananda struggled to find peace. Despite his dedication to meditation and study, his mind was always restless. It darted from regrets of the past to anxieties about the future, leaving him feeling drained and distracted. One day, Ananda approached the Buddha, his voice filled with frustration. "Master," he said, bowing low, "I have studied your teachings and meditated for years, yet my mind refuses to stay still. It feels as if I am a prisoner of my own thoughts. Please teach me how to live in the present." The Buddha looked at Ananda with serene eyes and said, "Very well, Ananda. To understand presence, you must first experience it. Come, let us begin." The Buddha led Ananda to a quiet room where a steaming pot of tea awaited them. He began pouring tea into a cup, but when the cup was full, he continued to pour. The tea spilled over the edge, pooling on the table. "Master," Ananda exclaimed, "the cup is overflowing. No more tea can enter." The Buddha set the teapot down and smiled. "Ananda, your mind is like this cup, filled to the brim with thoughts, worries, and judgments. To experience the present moment, you must first empty your mind." "How do I do that, Master?" Ananda asked, his brow furrowed. "Start with your breath," the Buddha said. "Sit quietly and focus solely on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. Let each exhale carry away a piece of your cluttered thoughts. Soon, your mind will become as empty as this cup." Mindfulness tip. Dedicate a few minutes each day to mindful breathing. Let your breath anchor you to the present moment, clearing away distractions. The next morning, the Buddha handed Ananda 2 large buckets and said, "Today your task is to fetch water from the river and fill the monastery's cistern." Ananda spent the day walking back and forth between the river and the cistern. As he worked, he noticed the rhythm of his footsteps, the cool weight of the water, and the soft sound of the river flowing. When he returned, he said, "Master, though I have worked hard, I felt strangely peaceful. Is this the presence you speak of?" The Buddha nodded. "Presence is found in giving your full attention to the task at hand. Whether you are fetching water or sitting in meditation, focus on the act itself. In doing so, you free your mind from past and future distractions." Mindfulness tip. Approach daily tasks with intention. Whether cooking, cleaning, or walking, immerse yourself in the sensations and actions of the moment. Later that day, the Buddha and Ananda sat beneath a towering Bodhi tree. A cool breeze rustled the branches, and a single golden leaf drifted down, twirling gracefully before landing at their feet. "Watch the leaf, Ananda," the Buddha said. "Notice how it moves with the wind, neither resisting nor hurrying." Ananda watched intently, feeling a sense of calm as the leaf surrendered to the flow of the breeze. "The leaf does not cling to the branch or strive to reach the ground," the Buddha explained. "It simply exists in harmony with the present moment. Be like the leaf, and you too will find peace." Ananda closed his eyes and imagined himself as the leaf, surrendering his worries and fears to the natural flow of life. Mindfulness tip. Spend time observing nature, a falling leaf, a flowing river, or the movement of clouds. Let it remind you to move with life rather than against it. One evening, the Buddha asked Ananda, "What is the sound of the drum in the distance?" Ananda listened carefully and said, "It is a deep, rhythmic sound, Master." "And what is the sound of the silence surrounding it?" the Buddha asked. Ananda was puzzled. "Silence has no sound, Master," the Buddha smiled. "And yet, without silence, the drum's sound could not exist. Presence is like this silence. It holds the space for everything else to arise. But it is often overlooked. To be present, you must not only hear the drum, but also embrace the silence." Ananda reflected deeply on this, realizing that true presence requires an awareness of both action and stillness. Mindfulness tip. Pay attention to the spaces between sounds, thoughts, or actions. These pauses are where presence resides. On his final day of instruction, the Buddha handed Ananda a small stone and led him to a still pond. "Drop this stone into the water," the Buddha said. Ananda obeyed, and ripples spread across the pond's surface before gradually fading. "Your mind is like this pond," the Buddha said. "When stirred by thoughts, it becomes disturbed and unclear. But if you allow the ripples to settle without interfering, it will return to stillness. Presence arises naturally from this stillness." Ananda knelt by the water, watching the ripples fade into stillness. He felt a profound sense of peace as he understood the Buddha's teaching. Mindfulness tip. When your mind feels restless, visualize your thoughts as ripples on a pond. Allow them to settle on their own without clinging or reacting. In the weeks that followed, Ananda practiced the Buddha's lessons with dedication. He learned to empty his mind through breathing, immerse himself in each task, flow with life like the falling leaf, embrace silence, and let his thoughts settle like ripples in a pond. One day he approached the Buddha and said, "Master, my mind still wanders, but I now see that I am not bound by its distractions. I can always return to the present moment where peace resides." The Buddha smiled warmly. "You have done well, Ananda. Remember, presence is not something to achieve, but a way of being. With each breath and step, you can return to it." This tale of Ananda and the Buddha reminds us that the art of being present is a practice accessible to all. By emptying your mind, immersing yourself in the moment, surrendering to life's flow, embracing stillness, and letting thoughts settle, you too can cultivate a life rooted in presence. Now take a moment to ask yourself, how can I bring more presence into my life today? Whether it's focusing on your breath, fully engaging in a simple task, or observing the stillness around you, each small act can guide you back to the present. So, take a deep breath. Be here. Be now. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Subscribe for more wisdom-filled stories.